Welcome guys, my name is Kudzai Mandi Teresa. Today I'm going to be showing you how to connect an industrial controller to IBM Watson IoT using Node-RED. So let's get started.
So what I have here is a SnapPack R1 programmable automation controller from Opto22. This is a rack mountable controller, and as you can see, I have some input output modules on the rack. On one of the analog to digital modules, I have connected a temperature probe, which I'll be using to demonstrate to you shortly. Okay, so this here is the software which as an engineer you'd use to develop the control logic. It is flowchart based and you can also use a scripting language to perform some complex operations. You can create user-defined variables and input-output tags. So I've created a float variable here to hold our temperature value, which currently is reading 27.5 degrees Celsius, and when I put the temperature probe into hot water, you see it begin to rise. So this is the value that we'll be sending to the cloud. So this controller is running a RESTful web service, meaning that it exposes all of its resources. By all, I mean the user-defined variables, input-output points, and device information, etc. These resources are exposed as a JSON string. So I'll go to the web browser and show you. So here what I'm doing is I'm actually requesting device information from the IP address, which is the IP address of the controller. And then in return what I get is the controller type and the firmware information. And then if I ask for the floats from the same IP address, uh, what I get in return is the key value pair for the temperature, which in this case is the only configured floating point variable in the strategy. And then just to show you, if I ask for a resource that does not exist, the controller actually returns a message to say the resource you requested does not exist. Okay, so Node-RED is a Node.js package. Node.js itself being a way of running JavaScript on the server. So essentially what Node-RED does is that it extends the functionality of Node.js by providing a way of building these JavaScript applications on the web browser through dragging and dropping and connecting different nodes. So to install Node-RED, you must begin by installing Node.js, which is available for free on www.nodejs.org. To install Node-RED, we use an npm package installer. We do that by typing this command right here on the command prompt. I'm not going to follow through with that because I already have this installed on my machine. And then since I'll be reading data from a SnapPack controller, I also need to install this node here. This contribution by Opto22 is for the SnapPack system. I need to install this one. This will enable me to read data from the SnapPack controller. And then since I'll be sending this data to an IBM Watson IoT, I'll also need to install this contribution from IBM Watson IoT as well. Okay. So now that we've got Node.js installed and Node-RED and the different packages, we can go ahead and start Node-RED. Okay, and then as soon as Node-RED is up and running, we should be able to access it on port 1880. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what you see here is an interface for building Node-RED applications, right? And then what you see here on the left is actually the nodes, right? They are categorized. We've got the input nodes, we've got the output nodes, we've got the function nodes. Here you can actually create some complex mathematical functions and the likes. And then here you've got your social. You can actually send a tweet from a controller and an email. and then here you can actually install, if you install a storage node like a SQL Server node, you can actually send your data straight to a database on the cloud or something like that. And then as you see here at the bottom, we've got the up to 22 nodes. We've got the snap-pack read and the snap-pack write. So we can either read from the controller or we can write to it. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll grab this inject, right? So an inject, basically what it does, it actually initiates a flow. Okay, so because at the end of the day, what we'll be building is a flow. I'll show you in a moment what a flow is. So on this inject, I can actually double click this and set it the interval to say, okay, after every 2 seconds, I want to actually initiate a flow, right? So, and then I'll grab a snap-pack read node, since I will be reading data from the snap-pack controller, right? And then I'll connect these two, right? Now I need to configure this snap-pack read node. Now the first thing that I need to do is actually set up my device, my snap-pack device, right? Okay, so now I'm using HTTP, but it will be advisable for on production environment for you to use HTTPS for security reasons. Obviously, I will specify the IP address for my controller, right? And then what you see here, the API key ID. This is actually the key value pair that I created when I was actually setting up the RESTful API on the controller, right? Okay, so our device is up and running. Now what I need to do, I need to specify the data type. Okay, and to specify, now we're reading a float variable, right? And then what's the name of the float? We can actually double check here. That's our temperature. Okay, so we just put it here, right? Now that's all I need to specify at the moment. Just click done, right? Now what I need to do, I'm just going to test this first just to see if we're actually reading we're getting the right data from the controller. So what I will do is I'll grab a debug node, right? And then I'll connect this one there. So now we do have a complete flow. Now we've got a complete flow of information. So now if I deploy this, we should actually see the temperature value appearing on this debug window here. So if I go ahead and click deploy, right, there we go. So you see every 2 seconds we're actually getting temperature. So we know we're actually reading the right information from the controller. So I'm not going to go into detail about how to create an IBM Watson IoT device. You can go onto the website and find out how to do that. But what I'm going to show you is how to connect a Watson IoT node here. So I'll just delete this. Okay, so when you go onto the IBM Watson IoT website, you should be able to actually select a quick start, and then you'll be able to um, generate a device ID, right? And then you can actually create all those nice graphics for it and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm not going to be showing that here. I'll reserve a separate tutorial for that. So I'll just show you here. When you need to connect to your device on the cloud, you can actually drag this uh, Watson IoT output, right, and connect it right here to your snap-pack node, right? Now, like I said, you can actually select a quick start. This one will actually allow you to test out a device without having to register anything and stuff like that. And then the ID that you generate on that website, you can put it here, right? Whatever your name you select for it, and then you can click done. So as soon as you click done, now all this information goes straight to the cloud. And then if you've got a nice gauge or trend for it, you see all the trends going up and down there. And then if I click deploy here, as you can see, it's telling us that the client is not connected. So yeah, basically that's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.